You're in the right house right now. You're watching the right broadcast. If you're not from here, or if you're not usually here, go ahead and bookmark this now. Go ahead and lock us in. Subscribe. It's free. The Tim Black Show starts now. Well, almost now. It's actually been started for a couple minutes. See, let me see if I can get this thing loaded up. How's it? Is this coffee cool off enough yet? You know, I ain't trying to hurt myself. Okay, that's loaded up. We're almost there. We're loading up some stuff. Yeah. Here we go. All right, man. I'm ready if you are. Ebony, are we ready? Oh, let me give a shout out to the one and only Black Mamba. Black Mamba, how you doing, sister? We miss you. We love you. We hope you're well. Just want to shout you out. All right? All right. Let's go.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Your shirt's pretty fucking racist, by the way.
Are you a Klan member?
Your shirt's pretty fucking racist, by the way.
Are you a Klan member?
No.
Then why would you be offended?
Because it's just offensive.
To who?
To other people.
Klan members?
Probably.
That makes sense then.
Yeah, I saw that. I said, you know, that's cute. I don't believe it's real. Because she probably would have been a lot more indignant when the lady just started talking to her. There'd have been some more gestures going on there, I think. If somebody you don't know starts commenting on your attire, you might be a little bit more like, "Scoomy." Oh, you talking to me? Oh, you giving fashion advice. My bad. I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you, Kanye. I didn't hear you, East St. Laurent. I didn't hear you, Ferragamo. What Don Ford? I'm overmissed you, Prada exec, Madison Fifth Avenue, Madison Fifth Avenue. I didn't catch it. Oh, okay. You're giving advice on clothing. Okay. Let's go ahead with this. This is great. You know, you should have came back with something. You know, it might not even been that witty. It might have just been like, "What? Excuse me?" You know, something. So I gotta say, this is just to have a conversation. Because a lot of what's happening right now is I got a lot of white people calling black people racist. Yeah, it's a lot of grievance. A lot of grievance from the white folks calling black people racist for stuff like this. Or anything online. This is crazy. And it's not a new thing. But I want you to also know there's brothers and sisters, there's black people doing it too. They don't, you know, people throw around the term racist too much. And if you black American, you should never call anyone black racist. Call them. You call them. A lot of things, a lot of other words for black people you can use. You just rob the history of what it means when you call a black person a racist. You know, it don't make sense. You know, stop doing it. It's not a cop-out to say what black people can't be racist. Because racism is an entire group thing. You know, it's a group dynamic. You know, to me, because I know the textbook is you got to be powerful. If you don't have power to stop people from doing things, you can't be racist because there's nothing you can keep them from doing. You know, racism for black people was like you can't go to the school. We won't give you a home loan. We're gonna put you in, mass incarcerate you and put you to work in the fields. We're gonna have you go work in the coal mines, where you're treated like a dog. and then you die like a dog, and they bury you in an unmarked grave. These are things that happen for like, I don't know, 100 years after slavery that people don't even talk about. Most people don't even know about. They have no clue about the black codes and the vagrancy laws. And a black person just not at work, or a black person walking back from work, they just charge you, he's vagrant. I'm not drunk. Well, it look drunk to me. What? You're not what? Bap, 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 getting the thing. Then there's no real trial. They say, he was vagrant. And then you end up being in some work camp for the next 5 years. They don't even call you people. Like, people don't understand. This happened here in America. So if you're not a part of a group that could do that to people based on race, then you can't really be racist, because you can't do any of the things that the racist group by social structure did to other people because of race. Not because they wore jeans, not because they listened to Tupac, not because they took the shoulder and cut traffic. You know, man, it's so anyway, back to this t-shirt shit. Let's get back to t-shirt, man. Look. Wear what you want to wear. Wear what the hell you want to wear. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know where to go with that, because that's such a goofy little skit. There's a lot of skits floating around, you know? And sometimes you can't tell them apart from the real thing, but some of them like this did giveaway. Did giveaway. Hey, man, where'd I hear that from? Yeah, that guy, Brother Charles, I think his name was Charles or something. He rescued the girls in Ohio. It's dead giveaway, brother, dead giveaway. Even that was racist. But it saved a young girl's life. He said when he saw the little white girl run out that house, was banging at the door, yelling to a black man, she said, I knew something was wrong because she was running to me. Whew. I said, dead giveaway. Dead giveaway. And that became a meme. Anyway, that's very 2014, I think it was, 2015, 2016. I want to say 2015. So where were we, Tim? Where were we? Tim Black's Wolfpack, let's cut the nonsense. Let's go ahead and stop. I think some people, they mean well, fam. I think some black folks say that black people are racist because they be thinking, they forget they black, you know? And some black people say black people are racist because they think we're in a place we're not at because they watch too much TV or because they got a nice car. But you know what? We'll remind you that you are very black and that you have not arrived, and just get one bad cop. Yeah, you one bad cop away, Mr. But come on, Johnson. Come on, Tim. Don't be stuck in the past, Pop. It was back in the day, man. We doing it out here. The only thing holding us back is us. Yeah, until you try to go get a loan, dum-dum. Go get that. Go get your loan. Go do it. Till the professor gives you a lower grade than he gives the white guy that you don't even know about it. Like a lot of stuff you don't even know, dog. You know, Sisters was telling, I saw this thing, this sister was saying, doctors are the black women, what the police are the black men. There, doctors are to black women what the police are to black men. And for a lot of people, right over the head, didn't see it coming. And don't get it twisted, we all got the same problems when it comes to insurance companies. See, some things we're going to be in line with. Some things is everybody across the board. They deny coverage. They cost people their lives. They put the dollar bill and profit over your life. They do that to anybody not well connected, anyone, right? What's a little Asian stink on it when you're black? You got to know that. So, like, I appreciate the sister. You know, I appreciate them putting this out. May they make a lot of money. May this go on rotation for them on TikTok or wherever it's from. Anybody, you know, just in case I'm wrong, anybody shedding a tear over a shirt with a Klansman a shirt depicting a Klansman having done to them what they were doing to us. That's what we offering. That's what we doing. Oh, come on, Tim. We can't be like the oppressor or we become the oppressor. Mofo, you don't have the ability. They got entire institutions. You don't have the ability to do that. Okay? You don't have the ability to oppress anyone. One person you can oppress is your kids, and all they got to do is pick up the phone and call what? Well, who they could call? Uh-huh. That's the only person you can, only people you can oppress are within your house, because those are the only people that you have what? Control over. Everything else you talk about, well, you just don't like. Well, you can say don't like. Could be have bigots. Have bigots. We have hateful people. We have bitter people. We have angry people. We have hurt people. We have traumatized people. We got people with bad manners. We got impolite people. We have criminal people. We have people that are violent. We have all these things. Stop using the word racist for all this shit. Just stop using it as a catch-all. I'm just going to throw racist. I'm just going to throw it under the racist. I'm about to break shit, ain't I? About to break something down, man. Yeah, don't be a Democrat. Don't make everything racist. It's not. That's a catch-all phrase. That's a vote getter. For some white people, it's shame saying, "Oh my God, I'm not racist." Then they go home. Well, black people can't stop them from doing nothing, and they just do. Cut on TV and see 80% of the shows, all white people do. Oh, God, it's so hateful. So painful. I'm going to stop on this. I'm ending on this. I never forget a joke. Louis C.K. He had this joke that was funny as hell. He was like, pretty much I could time travel. You ever heard this before? I don't want to butcher it, but it was something like this. He said, and actually, Louis C.K. is Mexican. But you can't tell it by looking at him, sort of like Nick Fuentes. But Louis C.K. was like, I'm Mexican, but you can't tell or whatever. He's like, pretty much I can go in a time machine and go anywhere in time and have a good, anywhere back in time and have a good time. And he was like, black people can't do that. They can only go back to anything after 1975 or something. He said, there's all types of words white people can use against black people, but it's only like, what can black people use? Cracker? And he was like, oh, that's right. Bring me back to the days when I used to own you. Used to own black people. Oh no, really hurt my feelings. I mean, because it's like cracking the whip. That's where it came from. Person that was cracking the whip on people. Get it cracking. Also, the resemblance of crackers. There's always that part. So it's a double entendre, and that's double meaning. Y'all ready for the next, man? Let's keep it moving. All right. I like the shirt, bold shirt. Okay skit. Hope it makes millions. Next. Fun times on the Tim Black Show.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Good morning. This is Commissioner Anthony Lorenzo Green, and it is like over 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm down here at 48th Street Northeast in Kane Place. President Trump and his Gestapo paid a visit to Deanwood tonight. Metro Transit Police, and along with other police agencies, shot at individuals on 48th Street. Thankfully, no one was hit, but there were 2 people detained. I'm still waiting for one of those individuals to be released. They've been holding them hostage in the alley in the neighborhood for a couple of hours now. And it's my understanding because he didn't do anything. He's an innocent bystander, but they decided to grab him and detain him. There were several police agencies out here: MPD, FBI, DEA, ICE, HSI, you name it. All the police resources you can name was out here in the community. Chef Row is still blocked off right now. So all the people that love to waste our tax dollars on all this police coverage in this city, let me tell you, a chunk of it is sitting right here in Deanwood doing nothing. So it's a shame that our community has to go through this in a city where everyone likes to pretend like this is something that just started happening when this president got in office. Feds been invading our neighborhoods for years. Deanwood is no stranger to a long list of federal agencies coming into our community to start nonsense, and tonight is no different. The only difference is that the president made an announcement that he was doing this. So here we are, 2 a.m. in the morning, waiting for an individual to be released, so everybody can go to sleep and go about their business. Maybe one of the elected officials that serve on the council that get paid to serve us will speak up and say something. Maybe our mayor will speak up and say something. I don't really care, but what I do care about is the safety of the residents in my community, ensure that they are not being hindered, impacted, and harassed, targeted by any entity in this city whatsoever. Deanwood don't play that. We have no shame about pushing back and fighting back when necessary. But tonight, we're just waiting patiently right now.
Next on deck with Tim Black.
Yo, man. Shout out to that brother. That's the commissioner here in D.C. And Commissioner Green, I think he said it was. And you know what? You know, it's kind of, even for somebody like myself, man, who's been covering politics and covering the news for quite some time, you know the spiel. I got to check myself to make sure I'm not falling into groupthink or not being, misled by propaganda. It's a difficult thing because I know what I think and I know what my experience is, and I know how having years of experience in different areas, kind of conditions me to a certain way of seeing through the nonsense. I can't believe... He said something that was very important here, guys. He said, we're not new to this. Meaning, they cracked down on crime in D.C. before. This is not a new thing when you're cracking down on crime. It's not a new thing to be over-policed. Black people be over-policed. The reason why, and this is what I did. I did a tweet on this. I think I posted it on Facebook. And I don't know what it is, man. Sometimes I think, maybe it's got to be tweeted by someone of a different hue for some people to kind of get it, for it to make sense to them. Maybe I got to have a bigger platform. I got to have more. I got to get some bots or something. I don't know. I got to do something. But I want you to understand this. If nobody else gets it, I want you to be a watcher. You who watch this show, I want you to know, man, curfews, over-policing, the main outcome of that is what? What do you think the main outcome of that is? The main outcome of that is mostly non-criminal, non-violent, mostly doing anything, people get swept up in it. Okay? The punitive nature of our criminal justice system, just getting picked up and having to go through that process for something dumb like being outside can ruin your life to a large degree. You can lose a job. You can lose a scholarship. You might lose where you live. You might lose your kids. People don't understand this. Like, I understand there's black people going, hey, man, we need to stop the violence that's happening in our neighborhoods. And we're going to get further into that. But you got to understand, making arbitrary things like walking outside for young black people, putting a target on their backs who may not have done something, just being a black male should not be enough to be harassed by cops. But it's always been that way. There are people that are walking around right now who've listened to content, who've heard us talk about the immigration situation, about deportations. They've heard me talk about it. They heard others talk about it. And they've retweeted stuff and posted stuff and went to live streams like this and been like, yeah. They weren't even really listening. They were so emotionally wrapped up in what was being said. They were so angry, bitter, frustrated, traumatized, right? Feeling disenfranchised, feeling overlooked, neglected, de-invested in. Like all these things, right? They weren't really listening. The reason, part of my pushback to all the hoopla about deportations in Latino people or people of Latin descent going, we getting profiled is, we already been getting profiled. Now because Trump and the media or whoever are telling you, DC is really bad. We got black people looking at an incident that occurred, that's horrible, going, see, we need to be cracked doing more. We need to be hitting the head more. We need more black people to go to jail. That'll fix it. And it's sad. That's already been happening. It's already been happening. I question if people really want anything to happen here except photo ops. I question if people are really seriously invested in any of this other than to feel good because something got done. We've been over police in the black community. Taking a young man, a 17-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old person who hasn't committed a crime, a violent crime, putting them in jail and putting them, picking them up, locking them up, holding them, putting them in the thing. Like that's, you create more criminals by doing it. You put people in bad situations by doing that. And it's a cycle. So what I'm saying is, if you really want to fix crime in any area, you got to do what works in any area where there's crime. You know what works? It's not over policing. It's not picking up people for petty shit. That's how we fill the jails up so they go work the fields for 20 cents or 10 cents an hour. That's what that was for. They told you it's because they dangerous. Well, really it was just to make money. There's so many books about it. I feel like if you cared, maybe go read the new Jim Crow with Michelle Alexander. Go read that, the new Jim Crow. We got people who I think mean well, who are misinformed, disinformed, and some people just don't want to be informed on a lot of this. The thing that works is investment in resources for young people for their neighborhoods and for those environments. That is the best way to combat crime for anybody in any situation. Anyone. When people get rap sheets, they can't get housing. They don't get job assistance. They can't get loans to go to school. There are things that happen to you that put you further into the underworld, that put you further into the life. To save people from that, if that's what you're trying to do, and I hope that's what you're trying to do. Hope you're not just trying to throw away people, because you usually leave. Everybody say, what happened to those fathers? They got put in the system, goofy. They got put in the system away from their families and broke apart the nuclear family that you keep talking about. How'd that happen? So we got black people that are thinking really goofy. They're thinking, they talk like white nationalists. They think it's because a bunch of black people woke up and just walked away. Saying, I don't care about no damn kids. Survey says black fathers spend more time with their kids than white fathers spend with theirs. Crazy, ain't it? Contrary to your narrative. Contrary to your narrative. That's what the survey said. You never hear Benny Johnson say that. You never hear Tucker Carlson say that. You never hear Bill O'Reilly say that. And sadly, you never hear Anton Daniels say it either. You never hear Candace Owens say it either. It's true. It's true. You talking about the white people you see on TV. You're not talking about the white people in real life. You're talking about your TV dads. My 3 sons, look at it. This is great. Real life, his dad was an alcoholic, beat his mom, slept with other people, slept with her sister, had a gambling problem, bum leg, a gambling problem, and took it out on his son. That's the real one. Family tree going this way instead of up and out. Hello, I got to spell it out for you. We can have some talks. I've seen some things. But my point is, back to the DC crime, man. You could take an incident. Sort of like what the Trump administration did here with this white kid. Somebody tried to carjack his girlfriend. And they didn't cap him. They beat him up a little bit. He didn't even have to go to the hospital. He didn't even have to go to the hospital. Yeah, like it's the end of the world. He got into a fight with some dudes who somehow were unable to take the car. Really? Did they take the car? I don't know. The point is this. And you know what? I wonder if it was a real carjacking. I'm wondering. I'm going to do a FOIA request. I'm going to get the documentation because I want proof that it was an actual carjacking. Not what he said, because it could have just been an argument. But it don't matter because the horse done left the barn now. I got people rewriting history. Well, Trump did this because a little black child, 3 years old, named Honesty, was shot and killed by a stray shot that took her life. That's why Trump did this. See, y'all don't even care about black people. You don't care about black people either because you didn't look up the story I did. Touching story, heartbreaking story, horrific story. Happened over a month ago. Well before the Doge employee. Well before that. Now, I don't know why that man shot into that car where that child was sitting at 2 a.m. I don't know why. I don't know what was going on. And you're right, a child did lose their life. You can point at those type of situations in any community. Well, not any community. In many communities across the country. That don't give you a reason to go and say we need to run tanks up the streets. Anyone who sees that and think that's what's necessary is a person drinking the Kool-Aid. Make mine a double. I'm not saying there's not things we need to do, but what you got to understand, solving systemic problems in environments are no quick fixes. People need wraparound services. They need support. They need opportunity. There's things. It's a petri dish that creates crime. Just coming in and getting rid of the people doesn't fix the dish, dum-dum. I don't mean to call it dum-dums. Some people mean well. Some people mean well. Anybody out here ever raised kids? Anybody here got kids? Anybody a parent? I'm a parent. Several times over. You get better as time goes on. Because you learn, because there's no dictionary. There's no encyclopedia. No ChatGPT for being a better parent. But what you learn is, don't fix. Makes things worse. I know we look back fondly. Hey, I remember when, fear worked for a while. Then you got out the house, and what'd you do? Get locked up for beating someone's ass, or then you did this or that. Like, fear is a deterrent. It can be. But if someone's stomach is rumbling, if someone doesn't have a family somebody has a good job, no one's trying to self-medicate through alcohol or drugs, okay? Dad didn't catch a charge before he even got married to even build that family. So he's gainfully employed. And he comes from a non-traumatized background with mental health intact. Mom, same thing. Like, these are the people that make the kid that put the environment together. Then the neighborhood and who lives around those people. It's a lot of things. But people want to come in with a hammer and then look at everything like it's got to get hit with the hammer. They say when you got a hammer, everything needs a hammer, right? That's all you got, the only tool you got. The problem is in America, we got a lot of other tools, but we don't want to waste those tools on people. We want to waste them on bombs that bomb other people to make more scratch. And it's disappointing to see so many people falling for the okie doke. This is a show. If anybody cared about the kids, you know what they do? They will make sure the kids and the parents of those kids had places to be. Instead of a curfew, some kids out on the street because their parents at work. Some people on the street because their parents are strung out. That's why they out late. Now, what we got is Trump and his administration trying to do what Kamala did. And some of us didn't vote for Kamala. Why? Because she locked up black parents whose kids were truant. Now you support Trump locking up black parents because the kids not in the house. What's the damn difference? Now, I've been a critic of Kamala Harris, but I ain't no damn hypocrite. You can't say Kamala's garbage for trying to lock out black parents because kids ain't going to school and then say Trump is the savior or we got to do something because we don't have any creativity, no reason. We have done no research. And we said we got to do something. So now we're going to do a curfew and then charge the parents if the kids ain't home. It's the same thing. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? If the plan is so great, why is it the same plan that Kamala had, which we know was garbage? How is it a good plan? Now it looks good when you come in. If you haven't learned anything about the Trump presidency, and I don't spend a lot of time running it down, man, I guess I got to spend more time because if you've been watching Trump over the last 10 years and you haven't learned, it's all about the show. If you haven't learned that yet, the one-liners, the insults, the rhyming people's names. If you haven't learned, the guy been in TV for 40 years. If you haven't learned, it's all about the show. If you ain't figured that out yet, I gotta say it. Well, hell, I'm saying it. 90% of what Trump does is just for show, for sound bites, for coverage, for show, which forms perception, which forms your reality. My name is Tim Black, and this has been my TED Talk. All right. Let's keep going. We're on the same topic. Stay tuned. Don't move. If that made sense to you, or if it made you think about something besides some nonsense for a good 6 minutes, if it made you consider, rethink, analyze something that's important, subscribe to this channel. Don't just sit here, subscribe and hit the like button because you can go a lot of places on the net tonight. You can watch a lot of shows. A lot of them not going to make you think about nothing. They'll have you look at a pretty woman and decide if she's dateable. They'll have you look at a young man and decide, should they have popped a balloon? Is she damaged goods? Or is she aging like fine wine? Or like stale milk? So if you get something from the show, hit the like button. Let the algorithm know. All right. I get my light straight over here. Got to have this melanin on fleek. Can we keep going, Buck? Ebony, if it's okay for me to keep going, I want to proceed. Can we do that? He says you can't fudge homicide rates. Yes, but that's still three. It's brother Perry. I appreciate you for stating data, my brother, and I agree. Can I just say it? Because I'm about to go some more of this. Can I just say it? I'm not saying we don't need to do things. We need to do things that work. We need to do things that work. If your car ain't running, if your car's sitting there like, my car won't start, and I give you a six-pack of beer and walk away, I mean, thank you. Thank you. I like beer. But what kind of beer is it? First, the Dos Equis. What's that? Is that Stella Artois? What's this? Nobody drink no more Pabst Blue Ribbon. What's wrong with you? I don't drink that. But no, I'm saying, that's nice, but if it ain't going to help me start the car, what good is it? So he can show himself giving you the beer. Y'all got the picture. This is my good side. Let me get these fools this beer. See, I care. I'm just saying, so like, I'm not saying the car isn't stalled. I'm not saying the car isn't broke down on the side of the road. I agree. You know what I'm saying, Perry? The car's broke down on the side of the road. Okay? It's been worse. The car been on fire. It's not even on fire, Perry. Remember, I grew up in the 90s, fam, the late 80s, early 90s. DC was Baltimore, was Memphis. So this, what they talk about, I know it's bullshit. But what I'm saying is, this is for show. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep going. Let's keep playing, man. Check it out, guys. There's more.
What's your message to Democrats who, are in Washington right now, or members of the media, the legacy media, who claim that D.C. is a safe place to live and work?
Yeah, you all are the people who painted Black Lives Matter on the road leading to the White House. You're the people who kept chanting that and slapping it on the back of your cars in a bumper sticker. So let me ask you a little something. Is it just because I'm sitting here talking about it and I talked about it in the new media seat inside of the White House press briefing yesterday?
Of 15 years, I've lived on Capitol Hill. I witnessed so many muggings and so much theft. I've lost track. I was carjacked. I have murders on my ring camera and mass shootings. I witnessed a woman on my block get held up at gunpoint for $20, and my house was set ablaze in an arson with my infant child inside. As a banning report that sends and lies that D.C. is a safe place to live and work, let me just say this. Thank you. Thanks for making the city safe, because no parent should have to go through what my family went through, having the fire department rip open their door to save their infant child. So thank you for your work on securing the city. My question to you is this: Nancy Pelosi has attacked.
That people are paying attention? I mean, listen, the vast majority of crime is committed against Black people in D.C. by other Black people in D.C. So if you believed that Black Lives Matter, this would be a massive bipartisan effort in order to clean up this city. I am very much, and your last guest is very much, outliers. We happen to be journalists and have social media followings, and we do this profession. But the vast majority of victims of crime, like, for instance, Davon McNeil, I'll never forget that name, a young boy, 6 years old, killed by a stray bullet on my block. What was his crime? Sitting on his front porch. He was there with a phone charger, shot by a stray bullet in a senseless drive-by, something that regularly happened on my block. A young Black boy, no one will ever remember his name. And so if I could tell you a quick story that I think is remarkable from the White House yesterday. White House staffers were telling me that part of the painful ironies is that regular corporate media, White House personalities that are famous and renowned regularly complain to them about how dangerous their commute is into the White House from their neighborhoods. They complain about being robbed. They complain about crime. They complain about gangland behavior. Yet when they get in there and get their scripts, they say that D.C. is safe.
Right.
But behind the scenes, they are telling the truth.
And
they're
therein
frauds,
lies the problem.
And it's good to call them out.
Yeah,
Yes.
and no, I think that with Democrats, it's not Black Lives Matter, it's Black votes that matter. And the other, and I mentioned this a moment ago, 77% of Black babies in 2024 were born to unwed mothers. 77%. That's more than 3 out of 4.
Goodness.
You think maybe that's part of the problem? You think maybe the media should bring that up? Black mayor and a Black chief of a police in D.C., and it's gotten worse, not better. Benny Johnson, we got to leave it there. Good to see you. Thank you.
Next on deck.
Oh, thanks. Where's Cedar? Thank you, Mrs. Black. Where's Cedar Rapids? Where's Cedar Rapids located? Benny Johnson is from. Okay, Benny Johnson's from Cedar Rapids. Iowa. Thank you. Appreciate you, McCoy. So, McCoy Perry, check it out. My bad about the sound. I had to clear my throat. I didn't want to, trying to be a little considerate. So Benny Johnson's from Iowa, right? So he comes to the big city from Iowa. I don't know how much crime is in Iowa. I really don't. I really don't know. I don't know what they do there in Iowa. Tip cows. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in Iowa. He moves to a big city. I wonder if he was seeing crime if he went to New York or Philly or Chicago, or if he went to any major metropolitan area, New Jersey, New York, California. Like, I think if he'd have went anywhere and lived in like the downtown sections of town, because he don't live like in, I don't know, So that's the first thing. We got to put it in the context of where you from, Benny, to even have a dialogue about this. I do agree that there are people that put on bumper stickers of Black Lives Matter who really didn't care about Black lives. It's just a trend, sort of like MAGA for a lot of people. Yeah, I feel like MAGA for a lot of people was like a trendy thing too, like no substance under it, just thought it was the right thing to be about. He said America first. You don't really look into shit, you just kind of go with it. And I'm not talking about Benny particularly, but I'm saying basically there are people, how much research do MAGA people really do about MAGA? It's like a community for them, and they join it, and it's whatever. And Black Lives Matter for some people was sort of the same thing. It wasn't even anybody to vote for. It's just a thing. It was an abstract idea, an assertion that Black people should live, which is something everybody should be about. But just saying Black Lives Matter for people like Benny was saying white people's lives don't matter, even though that has never been a question in America. I never thought it did. I never thought it was a question if it mattered to, So anyway, but Benny's bringing up some other good points here that need to be addressed, Johnson. He said there's crime in D.C. and no one wants to talk about it. My question to Benny is, how much did you really care about the crime? Dog, I lived in some bad apartments in Maryland, Prince George's County, Maryland, up there near Suitland, over in District Heights, Maryland. And when my apartment got shot in, I moved. Why are you still living places like that? I'm just wondering. I'm not saying you sound like you're full of shit, but you sound like if I looked at my Ring camera and saw a mass shooting on my Ring camera, dog, from Iowa, you put up with that? I don't know. I'm not saying you're full of shit. I'm just saying, I don't know. The fact that you work for Turning Point USA, The Blaze, and Breitbart kind of makes this a heavy lift for me. Because that's like 3 right-wing organizations, like bap, 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 like in a row, Johnson. It's just a lot, to kind of take you seriously. And I also believe that you really care about Black people. And I know it shouldn't matter that you do or you don't. It's just you keep saying it like you do. Like you do, but before this happened, before Trump made this move, I didn't hear you talking about it. And I actually follow you on Twitter. I follow a lot of accounts. I don't remember you talking about the little boy who got shot in the head that you just quoted. Before Trump decided to go into D.C., before the Doge white kid got beat up. I'm just wondering because it sounds. But anyway, let's not even make this about Benny. Too much time on Benny. Enough on Benny. Okay. Everything Benny said, let's take it off of face value and say, okay, maybe he's got a point. Anybody can have a point. You look over, you see something on fire and say, hey, something's on fire. Can't you smell it? Now, what do we do about that? Benny, do you go and lock up the people? Or do you put the fire out? And did you find out where the fire started or how the fire began? What's going on? What's causing fires? I would think we want to find out what caused the fire. Let's do some forensics. Let's do some investigation. Let's not just blow up the building. Let's not just lock everybody up. Let's find out what happened. So when we find out what happened, what caused the fire, I'm trying to tell you, the solution to the fires are changing the environments, solving the problem of the environments. People are not just people who sell drugs, people who deal drugs, sell drugs, gangs, gang activity, these things, fighting over resources, fighting over corners. All these things are symptoms of bigger problems. And they deserve to be taken seriously. And if you don't want to take them seriously, won't you just admit you don't give a F? That would save us all a lot of time. Of course, Trump wouldn't be able to show his side of his show of force. He wouldn't be able to ingratiate himself to a lot of white people who love nothing more than see black people getting in handcuffs. They love it. When I say white people, I mean there's certain kind. I'm not talking about all. I'm definitely not talking about all. So we got a catch-22, because I agree, there are liberals who will do a lot of virtual signaling like they give a shit. But are they pushing for the programs that I'm talking about? No. So I'm not even on that. Okay? I want to be clear. I'm not on the they're right, you're wrong, because you're both wrong. You want to do something, but you don't want to do the thing that works, and they don't want to do shit. So we do the wrong thing that doesn't do anything to make it look like we did something, which is what Democrats typically do. They do things like, hey, let's have a hip-hop holiday. Hey, let's put Rosa Parks on money. We could really use reparations. Hey, I got a better idea. What if we put Rosa Parks on some money for you? Wouldn't you feel good? All right, boy, let's do that. And we could really use some investment in our communities. How about some incubators? Because only 2% of venture capital money is what black people get. We only get 2%. Maybe what we could do is have some investment in our small businesses. Then we can fortify ourselves. Oh, God, that sounds like a great idea, Tim Black. But, hey, how about this instead? How about, I don't know, how about just Juneteenth? You like Juneteenth? How about if we make it a national holiday? Yeah, let's do that, boy. Go play some music. Someone cut on some Frankie Beverly and Maze. They love that song. Play that. They'll do a line dance. It'll be great. So don't get me wrong, Benny Johnson. I'm not saying you're wrong about liberals, but I'm saying you're the same because you want to do shit that doesn't help but hurts people. Because you go there, bang them in the head and throw them in the car and do like Trump says. And don't be nice. Don't be so nice when you do it. Take them outside. Yeah, you take them, you rough them up a little. Back when I was coming out, he never did shit. Bone Spurs never roughed anyone up. Bone Spurs, the most strenuous thing he did was play golf. And had people lose on purpose to save his ego. Okay? These are facts. And not pay workers what he owed them. Okay? And then took pictures around black people who were powerful or had notoriety in the black community to make it look like he could let him like. He's always been a politician, just a different kind. But see, Benny, what you want to do and what you encourage others to do, and people that are amplifying you, and the goofies that are feeding into you, and the people that don't know, misinformed, disinformed, and don't want to be informed, are sounding like you and parroting your talking points without considering that what you want to do is basically inflict harm on people that are already harmed. Last but not least, to the corny white guy that was sitting next to you who wanted to throw in a talking point because he had Benny Johnson, who has 3 million followers on X. He started talking about unwed families. I wonder why. What caused that? We can start digging into what causes family separation. It's amazing in a country like America with a history of what America's done to black families would ever be coming out of their mouth in front of black people ever to say your families aren't together. After you intentionally support policies that broke them up, you had institutions that did your best to undermine black success and wealth and excellence and autonomy. And then you come 50 years later, you don't give us full rights to the 70s, then you put on the books. Let me back up. Let's walk this. Let's walk with me, y'all. Walk with me. You have us enslaved for 300 years. Whatever the hell, 265, 300. Then we are free for 10 years. And then when we start amassing any type of autonomy, becoming statesmen, politicians, and businessmen, you say, they're surpassing us. Black codes. Got to put them back in their place. Let's put them back out in the fields, but let's use the prison system to do it. So we did slavery by another name, which was jail. Mass incarceration, that lasts what? From 1870, 1880 to 1950, and then we had a reemergence of that later. The redlining, the 1910s, 1920s, the 1900s, 1910s, 1920s. For 20 years, tumultuous bombings, floodings, mass migration due to floodings and lynchings against black people, perpetrated against black people, as in black families. What was happening to the families when y'all were throwing them in jail, when you were throwing the black men and women in jail, particularly black men? What was happening to the families? Oh no, broken up maybe. So we're going to fast forward. We're going to get to civil rights. Then we rip open the communities. We know what, man, I don't even want to go through a history lesson. Why do it? The people that know already know, and the people that don't know typically don't want to know. Like, do you want to know? Benny doesn't want to know. The white guy that was talking about unwed mothers, he doesn't really give a shit, does he? Because if he did, he'd be doing something about it that was positive instead of going, see, you don't have families. That's your problem. It's if it's just because people don't know how to have family. It's just rich. It's rich. I don't mean Daddy Warbucks rich. I mean rich like cheesecake rich, for these guys to talk this way. Under the facade that they give a damn. The mother leaves her kids alone, going to look for work, jailing her because she left the kids alone to go look for work. Meanwhile, the husband or the baby daddy isn't there to father the children in there because he's in jail because he couldn't get work. That's nothing but just split up and that's sort of like the way I envision America, how it treats people and black people in general, maybe others too, but that's been my experience. That's how I see it. And then you say, why weren't you with the kids? And why weren't you? Well, I'm in here. You put me in here. And well, I had to go get the job. And then the kids, so everybody suffers in that equation. So how do we solve that? We got to find solutions. But I don't think there's a lot of people, I do not believe that they truly want a solution. What they want to do is point fingers. And what's sad about it, there are some people who are Trump supporters or who are MAGA or who are conservatives or who are independents and some liberals too. They actually do, there are a good amount of people that are actually sincere. They just don't know enough to be helpful. And they just want, they want to kill a fly with a Uzi. They want to help you, by hurting you. And I got a question, like, is it help if it's not helpful? Yeah, if it's not proven to help, it's not like we don't know it helps. It's not like we don't know it helps. Any poor people, any people that are struggling, any people that can't find adequate housing or stable homes or it's not like there aren't other countries. There are track records of what you need to do to fix it, to help it. It ain't going to happen overnight. It's going to have to take time. It ain't get broke overnight. It didn't get broke overnight, so it ain't going to be fixed overnight. That's why I question if they even want to fix it. That makes sense? All right. I'm going to go to Tito. Let me go to Tito. Thank you, Tito, for pulling me up. Tito says so much weird stuff in this country from politicians to the citizens themselves. I'm convinced we're a simulation, and again, the POTUS don't matter. It's the hand up, said POTUS back. That matters because once he's bored, it's a game on. Yeah, I pretty much believe the same thing. I believe that I believe neither party, I believe both parties suck, and I don't believe any president is really trying. He might do some marginal things, but most of it is smoke and mirrors. It's like it's not that hard to come up with solutions, if that's what you want. You break your leg, you elevate the leg, give some pain medication, elevate the leg, stay off it for 6 weeks. Here goes the cast to keep it stable. And then once you take the cast off, we start, there's steps. These people come and say, we just got to cut the leg off. And then say, well, why can't you run? What? You just cut my leg off and then you say, why can't I run with the leg I don't have? And that's sort of how I feel when they say, where are the black men? Why aren't they? Anyway, I'm going to keep it moving, guys. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. We know what doesn't work. Doing what doesn't work just because it makes you look like you're doing something is doing something, but it's not helpful and it's hurtful. That doesn't help. So I'm always suspect when people have not shown any inclination to give a damn before, suddenly give a damn. And they all of a sudden, am I really supposed to believe people with all these degrees, with access to books and with a computer in their damn pockets, could look up better solutions if they really cared? That's it. I'm supposed to believe they really care, though. Now, if you really cared, you look up the instructions on it. If you cared, you wouldn't drive a car with your feet. You look at the manual and see how you drive with your hands. You care enough to look it up. It's not rocket science. All right, guys, let's keep going. It's the Timberlake Show. Hit me up. Hit me up at tim@timberlaketv.com. Also, hit the like button and the share button. My people on X, my people on Facebook, how y'all doing? We don't pull punches here, man. We about to jump from hot to hotter. We gonna go hotter. Y'all ready? All right.
With Tim Black.
Democrats at this point are historically divided. It is a complete and utter mess. It is messier than a hoarder's basement. What are we talking about here? The national early poll leader, 25% plus. Normally, that's where Democrats are. Biden was at 25% plus in 2020. Hillary Clinton was in 08 and 16. Gore was in 00 and 04. At this particular point, there is no one in the Democratic race for president who's polling at 25% plus. The water is quite warm. If you're a Democrat potentially thinking about running in 2028, jump right in, because at this point, there is no front runner.
What do you think? Is that because how people view the Democratic Party right now, is that contributing to this?
Yeah, I think that is in large part of what's going on, is one of the reasons why there is no front runner. Nobody wants to put anybody up at the top of their ballot list, is because at this particular point, the Democratic brand is in the basement. It is total and complete garbage in the mind of the American public. The Democratic Party's net favorable rating, record lows in all three. Wall Street Journal, 30 points underwater. CNN, 26 points underwater. Gallup, 26 points underwater. And that is being driven in large part by discontent within the Democratic base. The Democratic base wants something different. We'll ultimately end up seeing who they choose. It'll be quite the thing who ultimately gets the rose.
Yes, sir.
Next on deck.
We ain't going to spend a lot of time on this when you understand what we're talking about when we talk about how the Democrats can't even, get excitement within the Democrats. And the solution, some feel, is to blame the voters, which only creates less satisfaction with the party altogether. So I don't know what you do with that. We can't get any customers to come in and buy our pizza. Let's not improve the pizza. Let's not give them the pizza they want. Let's not sit down and talk to the people to find out what kind of pizza they want. Let's not come with solutions to make better pizza that they want, not what we want, not what our donors want, but what they want. Not what my distributors want me to sell them, but what they want to actually eat. Instead, what the Democrats do is they go, you don't understand pizza. You don't know what good pizza is, you bunch of non-pizza eaters. Horrible choice, terrible taste buds. And then when the people go, screw you, we're not coming out and vote for you, they go, what did we do wrong? It's your fault you get stuck eating bad pizza. Now, that would be your fault. But as pointed out earlier, all a hustle. They get it. I do not believe people are dumb. Not as dumb as they lead you to believe. I believe the Democratic Party knows exactly what it's doing, Johnson. They choose to do what they're doing because there's a financial incentive in it. They choose to do it either because of the institution of the Democratic Party or the donors of the Democratic Party. There is money behind it. This has to be it. Because I do not just dismiss bad choices by political figures. They're too strategic. They got too much money on the line. They got entire industry here. Come on. When you look at one of these Kamala Harris's or Joe Biden's, you're looking at a team. You're looking at a whole squad. You just look at the front person like it's an individual. They got an entire team, an entire apparatus behind them, a corporation, for God's sake. So I do not believe they're just short on ideas. Now, they get phone calls and letters, but the ones that really matter are the big money people. Got to quote George Carlin. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. Let's keep going, fam.
With Tim Black. On deck with Tim.
Okay, so that's the first clip. Let's respond to this one real quick. Yeah, he had a lot to say. He every talking point of white supremacy he was throwing out. The chubby dude. Check this out, guys. I agree with some things that Amanda Seales said here. Got to give her props on a couple of things. Let's start with what I agree with. I agree with there are people that have no real true understanding of black community at all who have a lot to say about the black community. Okay, I agree with that. I think, you wouldn't talk about other communities that you're not a part of, that you are not from, as if you understand. It'd be different if you asking questions, trying to figure it out. But to say what they do, it seems to me, is they go to white news, right-wing news, not white news. All news is pretty much white, except like this. All they do, it seems like they go to right-wing news and get talking points that blame black Americans, which is exactly what they want you to do. They don't, because the last thing they want you to do is like hold accountable the people that put black people where black people at. You think it's just because black people bad. So I agree with her on that, to call that out and say, hey, if you're not black American, stop speaking on black people, black Americans and what they doing, because you don't understand. It don't sound like you understand at all what's happening. And it's good that she drilled down on dude and made him concede he's from Angola. And then he's from Maine. I mean, I know a lot of white guys who are way more familiar with, knowledgeable about black Americans than this guy. That's what I said. Everything is not about skin tone, okay? Now, here goes the thing I got a problem with, and which is somebody. It sounds like Amanda did a lot of defending of BLM. And it's not really in this conversation too much, but he alluded to it. I would not defend BLM. Just throw them to the wolves, Amanda with Seals. Why can't you just say that LGBTQ organization, which was what it was, which is what it was there to do, was to break up the nuclear black family, break up this. And they had an agenda that they wanted to accomplish. There are most people who put the bumper sticker on their car, most of the people that supported it or said it or tweeted it, had no idea about. They damn sure didn't have any idea about the money situation and where dollars were going and what they were doing with the money. These things can all be called out, and they should be called out. Or you're playing the same old BS politics with the same old lame excuses and following the same old, I need to get on this side or that side, that you're condemning with other people. So that don't make much sense. The Daniel Penny part, good shot. Once again, Amanda Seals, good deal. Because Jordan Neely, whose name didn't even come up for some reason, Jordan Neely, he had not put hands on anyone. He talked. People talk all the time. I always had a problem with that verdict. I always had a problem with Daniel Penny. I had a problem with Trump bringing him to the football game as if he saved everybody on the train. Now, you know what it would have been saving? Remember the migrant that set the woman on fire on the train? If somebody would have put her out, that would have been somebody who should have went to the football game, not a 6'3" Marine who chokes out a 5'7" homeless person who weighed 120 or 140 pound homeless guy for talking loud. Nah, that's not the hero. But people brought it because they love their Marines, they love their tall white Marines who stopped the angry homeless person who's being a nuisance. I still believe if that had been a white nuisance, there would have been think pieces about Jordan Neely. They would have talked about how his mother was cut up and put up in a suitcase when he was 12, how he was raised in the system, and how he did not get the mental health services that he deserved as a citizen. They'd have focused more on his athletic ability and his dancing skills and his history of entertaining people and wanting to be a star. And it'd have been this tragic story of how this great, promising white kid, blue-eyed white kid who was dealt these bad cards cannot overcome the odds and was at the end of the day was snuffed out on a subway train where he used to perform, hoping to get tips. Well, as he battled substance abuse and homelessness, that he was on a waiting list to get off the streets, and his name just hadn't come up yet. That sounds like a movie of the week, don't it? Back when we used to have movies of the week, that sounds like a bestseller. But no one ever even tried to sell that story. I could put that story together in 2 seconds. I just did. America couldn't put that story together for you because they didn't want you to have that narrative. They wanted you to believe he was a dangerous person. He was the child snatcher. He was an evil human being who just got what he deserved as he threatened the poor little white lady on the train. He even punched a white lady once, as if that was the totality of his 25 years on earth. He was off his meds. He was homeless. Bipolar, who knows? You could be many things when you lose your mom at 12 and you don't have a dad in your life, or whatever. But my point is, I agree with Amanda Seals on this when she says, what did she say exactly? I don't know if she commented too much about it. But that don't have anything to do with BLM, all because BLM showed up. I think it's all a circle jerk with some of the activist type people that they can't admit that BLM was just a bad look in some ways. But I will say this. The notion of Black Lives Matter did focus on one particular aspect, and that aspect was policing. It doesn't mean there aren't other aspects that could have been looked at. They should have been looked at, those other aspects. But there should have been other organizations to do that. And you know what? There are. They just don't get funded like Black Lives Matter because they didn't witness a black man get killed on the street in broad daylight to trigger the donations. So we got other organizations way better than Black Lives Matter, way more effective, way more controlled, that get a 1/100th of the, not even that, of the support and media recognition that Black Lives Matter got. Mainly because Democrats wanted to run on it. Became a good idea to run on it, right? Understand what I'm saying? Come to power on it, right? So it's all these things working in the background on these issues. But to this young man who, I don't know, more importantly to anyone, right? The appearance that Black people control these things is part of your problem. You think Black America controls what you think we care about. Everybody sitting on this panel, every single last one of them, is under the delusion that Black Americans control what they see about Black Americans. But that's not even the case at all. It's picked by media for narrative reasons to put it in to have certain effect on your belief system of what reality is. Part of being a news person is picking what I'm going to talk about. There's a billion stories. There's 1,000 stories that happen every day. Every day, 1,000 things happen. Somebody saves someone from a whale. Someone goes into a building that's on fire and saves 3 kids. And somebody kills 3 kids. And somebody has 3 kids. Which will be the thing they talk about? Well, since America has such a ferocious appetite for dead Black people, that because of the history of America, makes them want to focus on anybody that's Black who's killed by someone white. And that gets front page because it's playing on the narratives that are already in place to make that cash register go cha-ching. And if you don't understand that, like if you're sitting around saying shit like accountability, we need to be accountable. Just if you have the accountability talking point for Black Americans, without saying America needs to take some accountability, if you leave that out, you're leaving out the most important entity because that's the most powerful entity in that equation. Instead of talking about these Black people you don't even know, well, they need to be accountable. So anyway, Amanda Seales, good job. Better job. What I had issue with, I pointed out. Let's watch another clip of Amanda Seales. Good to see her coming back strong with both guns blazing. Let's see what she does in the next clip.
Next on deck with Tim.
Yeah, it's like that. We got some people that want to believe what they want to believe. Once again, there was a point to Amanda Seales on the particular point that is bigger than just an individual making a choice. Man, first of all, white people consume more rap music than Black people, which basically should shut down the argument. If they're the number one purchasers of hip hop that you say is so detrimental, that's causing all these problems, why aren't all their communities looking like ours? I can tell you, because it's not in the same environment with the same stressors and situations that will give you the petri dish to create these types of outcomes. For them, it's like going to a movie. It's like having a night out and being risky for the night, having fun. It's not a lifestyle. It's not a life. It's a wrap on them, and that's for the ones that don't live in that environment, because there are a lot of white Americans, Latinos, Asians, or whatever, who live in those environments too. You go to jail, you'll find some of them. Okay, so let's not act like. So what's common denominator is certain environments. But yeah, I agree with Amanda Seales in as much as when you talk about accountability, you have to also factor in that we don't control the service of demand. And typically when you have rappers who are just trying to get out of bad situations, we look at the Nas's, the Lil Waynes, when you look at we look at people from these environments that they came from, and I don't know every rapper's background. Of course, we got some kids from great neighborhoods who wanted to get into, from middle class upbringings, who wanted to get into hip hop because they just love the music, right? They weren't thinking about the social ramifications of it. And if they do this song, this causes this, or this could impact people, and people can drive by, do drive-bys to their music when they drive by. Like, they weren't thinking about all of that, right? But there are people that were just trying to get out of their situation and saw this as a way to do it. Not unlike someone who wants to play basketball, who sees a basketball hoop in a football or baseball as an opportunity to get to a better situation. And then once again, what makes them want to get to a better situation? We're almost there. Like we're almost at the point where we can see it, right? What's the thing that you're trying to get away from? It's not just shiny cars, of course. Some of them wanted to get out of their neighborhood. Some of them wanted to have a better life. Some of them wanted to buy what? To buy their mother a car, to buy grandma a house. Like they had these other to be successful. So I agree, man. Hip hop has a lot to answer for, in as much as the adults and the people that pull the levers and put the music out. Man, they even tell these people, hey, you need to, where's the guns? Where's the death in the song? What's this? You think there was a positive era of hip hop? Juwan B would be a great person to talk to about this. Go see Juwan B if you find this particular part of the segment interesting, because he knows a lot more about hip hop than I do, and I'm a hip hop head. But he knows the histrionics of hip hop and other musical interests as well. But what I'm saying is, when you start looking at the totality of what hip-hop was, you start looking at the different factions of hip-hop that existed, you think people lost a lust or a gravitating to positive hip-hop? I remember when Fresh Prince was on top. I remember when Fun Rap, Young MC, and I don't know, when hip-hop was different. There was different kinds of hip-hop. Then there was the hip-hop like LL Cool J and Big Daddy Kane. And it was these different eras where there were different types of hip-hop that existed. You think it's just the people that decided that we can't have any more Dear Prayers, that Most Def, The Roots, these people end up being backpack rappers with a fringe. Now, don't get me wrong, some of the best to do it. But there's a reason why Jay-Z stopped rapping right Common Sense. Right? So, and this is low-hanging fruit to go out to music as being a major thing. I know it's great. Charleston White has made a lot of notoriety. He has become a popular person on the internet by talking about hip-hop music as if hip-hop music is really the driving force behind these killings. No, I don't think it is. I think it's a contributor. So is bad diet. So is lack of job opportunity. So is lack of job training. So is dad not being there because dad's in jail. Because what? Because his dad wasn't there. Because what? Because what? Jail. What? Mass incarceration, systemic, right? Welfare, jobs, all these things play into each other. No one on this earth is just them. You're not yourself. You're the two generations before you and the generation coming after you. Every person watching this broadcast, your life isn't just you. It's where you came from and where you're going. It's those two bookends before you. Make you. You didn't just fall out of a coconut tree. Neither did your parents fall out of a coconut tree. So part of what I see conservatives do, what they're trying to conserve, I'm not sure. What we're looking to conserve, I'm not getting. And what the liberals are trying to liberate, I'm not sure about that shit either. Okay? Let's be clear here. We're going to keep it moving, but I got to say, man, if you can't think deep, if you don't have the time, if you don't take the time to think deeply and all you do is point at Black Americans, 30% of the population, we put people on the moon. We built industry. We built the richest country in the history of countries. You don't think they could solve problems if they wanted to? You really think they could solve it if they wanted to? That's what you think. And we're just so stubborn, we won't let them help us fix what they did. Generations upon generational trauma on a people. And then you go, what's wrong with you? You take accountability for you. And everything else is going to fall in line for you. It may. Maybe you can have a channel that you have to remind everybody every 5 minutes to support. You too can have your own show, Johnson. Look at us.
What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
All right, to support this independent media show, if you find anything valuable of interest on this show, makes you think, go to jointimblack.com. That's on Patreon. Starting at only $5 a month. You can buy me 1 cup of coffee a month. I give you 20 shows, right? A month. You can't buy me a cup of coffee for one of them mofos. That's all I'm talking about. This ain't a Dr. Umar. I'm not going to build a school that don't come out. I'm just saying support the shit you already taken advantage of. I'm giving you ebooks, free books. I'm giving you free content. I'm saying I'm doing something. Go to jointimblack.com. You know you want to. You're a good person. You support this. You down. Go to Tim's Take Live on Patreon. All right. You'll see a picture of me much younger. Yeah, just to see a picture of me much younger when my skin was all straight, it's worth it. Let's keep going, guys. We got a couple more to get to. I tell you, man, I'm just going to keep turning up the heat. Look, last thing. I'm glad to see Amanda Seales kind of turn the corner. Man, never count anyone out. Given the right opportunity, like the Phoenix, she rises. I think she did herself some good on this show. Yeah. I'll leave it there.
I'm Black.
So what's your name? You're the director.
Jessica.
You're Jessica, and Shelly is the owner.
Yes.
Okay. Shelly, my name is Misty Hernandez, and I'm the grandmother. And my daughter brings her children here, and we have zero consent on file for your staff to paint our grandson's nails pink. I think that's not good. I think that's caused confusion for kids. I don't care what parent allows you to do that. And I'm still talking. I'm still talking.
Can you just let me talk for 2 minutes?
No, I can't, because you're interrupting me and I'm talking.
I am just finding out about this and I am not happy about it. I don't need you to give me a lecture. I'm going to lecture my staff.
Yeah, because honestly, that's against the law. That is confusion of a child. You do not have any consent form on file to paint his nails.
I need you to calm down right now. Your child was well.
And if I were you, I would stop yelling at me, because your facility is in very big trouble for this.
No, we are not in big trouble.
You do not have consent from my daughter to paint her.
You are welcome to bring that child back in and we can take the nail polish off.
I'm definitely going to do that. I'm also going to record that, because you do not have consent to paint his nails. Your staff is crazy for thinking they can paint a little boy's nails without consent of a mother.
You do not need to yell at me.
You're yelling at me, and you're also cutting me off.
You are coming in and attacking everyone. It is a small child. It is color on his fingernails. And I just said to Jessica, it's not like they did pink, right? And she told me yes.
It doesn't matter if they did pink or green. You don't have consent to do either color to him.
We had activities going on today, and a lot of parents don't care.
This parent cares, and you have to have a consent in the state of Texas. You just assaulted me by saying that word, and you are being recorded. You are being recorded.
I need you to leave, and I am trying to get on.
Are you neglecting to take care of this? Because I'm trying to talk to you.
I told you that you can come in and we will buy you nail polish remover. I was going to offer a few hours free, but I do not want you guys coming back because you cannot come in and attack.
First of all, let me tell you this. I wouldn't have to come in and talk to you if your staff would not paint my grandson's nails pink.
I'm going to call the police if you...
I'm going to call the police right now and file a report here because you did that without consent.
I will happily call licensing and email them and report that this child his nails were painted because that was the activity that we did, and the staff made him...
Everybody painted their nails. My granddaughter's nails aren't painted.
No, not everybody, but it was an activity that was going...
You're yelling, and you're a business owner? You're a business owner. Do y'all always paint little boys' hands, or is he the first one?
No, everyone that wanted to participate today was in there.
And were there other boys that got their hands painted?
Yeah, there was several.
And y'all got consent from their parents too?
Some of them they did. I think that's the thing that I was telling them on the phone, that my policy is that they have to ask. They have to ask
right.
if it's a boy, because I know there is some parents, like, for instance, my husband I paint my son's nails sometimes and he gets pissed because he doesn't like that.
It's confusion.
No. But there are some parents that are like, I don't care. But that's why we were trying to tell them that I wanted to tell the staff so I could write her up, because like I said, they all know that the rule is if a little boy wants their nails painted, they need to call their parents and ask them, hey, can we paint their nails?
Absolutely.
And
we didn't receive one phone call because I asked him, since you guys didn't want to...
Right,
well, that's what she's saying. They didn't call.
I'm saying, they didn't call, and I didn't know that. I didn't even know his nails were painted until you guys called.
Like, you're not even paint them green, black. It's something. Y'all painted them pink.
No, but that doesn't even matter.
No, I know. I'm saying a wrong is a wrong. I'm just saying, like, really, like, that's ridiculous.
No, they're not supposed to do things like that without consent. This state of Texas, again, not only that, he's 3 years old. Like, they didn't have consent, and in the state of Texas, it is a conservative state. You're not supposed to confuse children. And to me, a facility like this should know that. Obviously, you do if you're having them call, and they didn't. So somewhere along the line, the ball's being dropped where these people don't think they have to consult with the parent. You're confusing the kid. We already have enough of that going on without people helping it. You know, you're promoting it. That is uncalled for, and it is actually inhumane in my opinion because it was not addressed with the parent. You don't do that to a child and confuse them like that. It's insane. It's crazy. And I think that y'all as a facility, because they won't be back here, but as a facility, y'all need to consult with parents. Not only that, y'all need to give your staff training, because obviously they don't have it.
And he's telling me in the back, Mommy, I only play with girls at school. They told me only girls.
Director, but what did you say your name is?
Jessica.
Jessica, and what's your last name?
So I heard about it just like all the rest of America, and I was just like, I don't understand why this woman Shelly did not apologize. All she had to do was apologize to you guys. That's it. And so, you know, just being the type of person that I am, I just felt like you all needed an apology. If nobody else would do it, I don't mind doing it, because I'm like, to me it was heartbreaking because I could hear the frustration in your mom's voice.
Yeah.
But corporate will send over a bunch of activities and then you pick from them. Now, what they were supposed to do was get consent. That's where they went wrong, because they didn't get the consent of you all, because that's what they were supposed to do. Like anything that's involving something touching the children. But I'll give you an example, like Halloween. You know, Halloween, it seems innocent, but there are a lot of people for religious reasons that do not want their children participating in Halloween. And we totally understand that. So again, if we have like a Halloween activity or something like that, we make sure that the parents are aware that, oh, you know, this is happening. Do you want to participate? And, you know, like that. So anything that requires consent of parents. So that's where they went wrong.
And it goes against our religion. So, you know, I just...
Of course.
You know,
of course. That's why I use Halloween as even an example for my... But I understand that a lot of people do, and a lot of, you know, and so as long as you get the parent to say, you know, okay, yeah, that's okay for my child, you know, then no harm, no foul. But that was the problem. And I do wish that they just would have just listened to you all's concerns and just apologize. That, you know, that's it. That's all they needed to do.
Hey, and this is the dad too, and right, like we were very upset that our son's nails was painted. It doesn't. We didn't care about the color. It could be colored anything. The point was it was without our consent. From a dad, it's just very concerning. We have no problem with the LGBTQ community at all. It's not even about that. You know, we don't judge anybody. But as far as our son, it's our son. So, you know, we want the best for him. We want him to make that decision on his own if he wants his nails painted when he's older. When he's 3 years old, you have no knowledge of really what's going on or what you're. Our son had to go to the doctor, and he got a big rash, and we had to get medicine for it. And the doctor said it was caused by the nail polish.
Next.
What? All right. Jeez. I didn't know that video was going to be that long. I didn't know what was going to come up. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I just kind of saw it. So let me talk about this interesting topic. I agree. The daycare should have done a better job, man. That's my point of view. Daycare should have done a better job of just listen to the backlash. That's all you can do, man. You know, what else can you say? You know, you did the wrong thing. The wrong thing happened, and it happened under your watch. It happened to people that pay you. Yeah, man, running a daycare, people that pay a lot of money for daycare, Johnson, this is not a freebie. Anything like you provide a service that people buy, and then you do the wrong thing, and then you get mad at them for complaining about you doing the wrong thing? I don't know about that. I get more shit, you know, for people with me just having a different opinion. And they're not paying for anything, Johnson. So, yeah, I think if someone was paying and I did the wrong thing as into their child without their permission for something that's basically, to me, is an overstate, stepping over a boundary. Yeah, stepping over a boundary and making a false accusation or taking it upon myself to do what I want to your child. That to me is, you know, and and I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, I do not believe they meant to hurt the child. So it's a bad situation, but when you're emotional, and that's a grandma, she come in, that's a grandbaby, she upset. Let her vent. Easy to say when you're not the person getting it, but this lady wasn't even there in person. She's on the phone. She could have just put the phone like this and let grandma get the things out of her system and just been like, you know. But as a business owner, I gotta say, sometimes we do the wrong thing. Being a business owner doesn't mean you do the right thing all the time. You can make mistakes. And you got to come back and say, hey, man, I should have done a better job. I screwed up. We screwed up. This won't happen again. Sorry it happened. We dropped the ball this time. I told them to get consent. I had no idea they didn't get consent. It's not like they did it and then took the paint off, right? So look, here goes my point of view. Additional. It's not like the daycare did this and then they took it off before the parents could see it and they were trying to conceal it, right? So they didn't think, you know, whoever did it wasn't trying to be nefarious, wasn't trying to be underhanded, trying to go undetected. That's a different thing, right? You do something to a child and you don't want the parents or the grandparents to know you did it. This is an obvious thing. I think grandma, dad, and mom if they're upset about it, they deserve to be reassured it'll never happen again. And you should do something obligatory in order to compromise or make some type of amends for that. Luckily, I'm hoping this is a young enough child where they won't be stained, but I get what grandma's saying, like, I don't want him to, you're leading him down a path. You're leading him down a path, and we don't want him to go down that path. You know, unless that's the path he's choosing on his own. And as Dad said, and I agree with Dad, unless that's what he chooses. And when he's old enough to make those types of choices, that's when we'll let him make those types of choices. Interesting topic though, man. I gotta say, man, I think some people will immediately think there's a negative, nefarious, dirty, underhanded plot, right? Because of so much they're being bombarded with that has been bombarded to American citizens about, LGBTQ and gender and all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Orientation and floating this and, so some people I think are going to be a little bit more defensive about it just from that perspective. But I think I would be more offended if they did that and then they tried to hide that they did it. Because then that shows an intentional. Then it comes into play. Like, what's your real motive for doing this? Right? What were you really trying to do? What were you trying to, you know what I'm saying? What's up? You trying to indoctrinate? You trying to do this? You trying to do that? So, yeah, that's what I'm at on this, guys. So let's go to comments. I want to see what you guys say about this one. Okay. First comment I see is from LS. This is Obama's legacy. There are 10 admin positions for every classroom teacher in public school system. The NEA is a big Democratic contributor. They at least paying the doctor bills. Wow, okay. Yeah, that's bad. Like, I can't believe the child had a reaction to the nail polish or the nail polish remover. That is bad. Fearless Mind said, F it, wrong answers only tonight. Oh, man. This is what happens when you open the door to BS. This is why being in entertainment or in the front of the camera get people comfortable to putting on makeup and special effects. Then we wonder why celebrities is on the front line for the shenanigans. Overstepping, trying to turn my son sassy. We fighting. Fat Man TV in the building. Shout out to Fat Man TV. I see somebody doing their thing. Let's give him a shout out, man. Teach colors and numbers, but not on there. Oh, man. Go ahead, Black Rose. Yeah, stay in your lane, daycare. My three-year-old is so funny. Nadia, she goes, we drive past the daycare, she goes, care day. It's just cute. She's amazing. Okay. Last story, Johnson. I had notes on this shit. What did I do with the notes? I don't think I even brought the damn notes with me. All right, I'll have to wing it. I kind of know it. Last story tonight, guys. Now, this is your last opportunity to be wowed by the Tim Black Show, okay? Let me get rid of the banner. Here goes the last story for Sunday. For you to be wowed by my incredible commentary. So now would be a good time to hit the like button before you get up out of here. Let people know that you're watching the Tim Black Show on a Sunday, and we brought the heat. We didn't just talk about one topic and stay there all night. I know some people like that. We kind of bounced around tonight, so let me know that this was a good show tonight. Now, let's see if we can end on a strong note.
On deck with Tim Black.
So D.L. Hugley was on the Vlad TV show. There's no sound. There's no video either because we can't play sound or video from the Vlad TV show because he hits you with something. He doesn't allow us to use this content.
Or what you're...
Damn it. So D.L. Hugley, he made some comments about Shannon Sharp that I found were kind of, I don't know. So D.L. Hugley was upset with Shannon Sharp. He's been giving Shannon Sharp the blues ever since Club Shay Shay opened up. D.L. Hugley felt a certain kind of way about Shannon Sharp's guest and how he conducts guests, and that his guest made him upset. In fact, D.L. Hugley was like hoping that Shannon Sharp went out of business. He said it's a horrible platform. He would never go on that platform. And we all know if D.L. Hugley don't come on your platform, there's no way you can survive. He's such a Funny guy back in 2002. Anyway, the point is that some people do find DL funny still. I don't know. He became a whole lot less funny when he got into politics with the Obamas and with the Kamala's before he became a Democratic operative. But here it goes, man. So he's in this segment with DJ Vlad. He's calling out, he's saying Club Shay Shay, now Shannon Sharp. You know, he got set up by the OnlyFans model, and now, you know, he was getting extorted. That's what it looks like. And he said now, maybe he'll go on the Club Shay Shay show. Now, don't get it twisted. I don't think that Shannon invited him. But it also seemed kind of crazy. It seemed kind of petty. Like, why is it even coming out of your mouth? You know? I have a news show. I cover black culture. I cover breaking news. Shannon Sharp has had one of the most viewed episodes on anything on the internet in the last, I don't know how long, right? So that interview he did with Cat Williams, where Cat Williams said a lot of incendiary things that got a lot of attention, that broke the internet, right? No joke. And last time the internet was broke like that, somebody took their clothes off. I think it was a Kardashian or something. It's been a long time since the internet was broke like it was broke by Cat Williams. But the thing about it, and I think the urban politics guy, my brother, pointed this out as well. Shout out to him, by the way, because I saw him do this video, which made me want to do this video. And I can admit that. He said that Club Shay Shay bringing on guests that are talking smack hurt people that DL loved and cared about. And now that Shannon Sharp has been hurt by this woman, now he feels like, well, now I can come on the show. Which to me didn't make any damn sense. Shannon Sharp just lost his ESPN job, which was like 40, 50 million opportunity, right? Some say he lost another opportunity, something else with some distributor or something that used to be listed under his nightcap and under his Club Shay Shay that's no longer there, that I wasn't even paying attention to. And then he also had to pay $23 million. And somehow D.L. Hughley compares that to some people getting butthurt over Cat Williams talking shit on a podcast. Yeah, you know, all because, I guess, because Cat Williams said something about he said something about Cedric and joke stealing. So for that, you think Shannon Sharp losing $60 million is equal? Or because he brought on Monique? Is that really, see, to me, D.L. Hughley is just a petty dude. He petty as hell, man. Maybe most of what's wrong with D.L. Hughley are things that don't go the way that he wanted them to go. He didn't like that Monique came on that show and talked smack and his name came up. And she probably sent shots at D.L. D.L. didn't like that. He didn't like that Cat Williams talked shit about Cedric. He didn't like that. Just like he didn't like that Kamala didn't win or that Biden got dropped out the race. And then he wants to punish all the people who didn't support Kamala. It's the way he supported her. D.L. Hughley loves to be adjacent to power, loves to name drop the Bidens and the Kamalas. Yeah, I had a good time. I spent time with Kamala. I spent time with Joe Biden. The circulation of the conversation that matriculates to the understanding that the overview of the underview of the overstanding of the understanding that has precipitated the demise of Black Americans, which was very clear to me that you can't start a car if you don't have the keys. And I don't know what kind of club you go to that truth is told. Most clubs are just full of lies because people drinking. So I don't know how you're going to have a Club Shay Shay that makes sense. Anyway, I find that ridiculous. I find that to be a homophobic quantitative loss, a perpendicular line that is connected to your aneurysm that it felicitated through your fallopian tubes. on the YouTube. And at the end of the day, all it is Shannon Sharpe had a successful platform that he built up. And I've called Shannon Sharpe on a number of things. Like, I don't agree with everything Shannon Sharpe's done, but see, that ain't got nothing to do with it. It didn't got nothing to do with, do I agree with him? He a grown-ass man. He does what he does. He's successful at what he was doing. And how the hell are you going to be on DJ Vlad throwing rocks at Club Shay Shay? I mean, at least be morally consistent. People calling Vlad the feds. Vlad brings on young black men and try to get them to say things and put them in harm's way with the feds. But you'll go on there anyway. But see, when it comes to your friends, your comedic friend like Cedric, or when it comes to your pride with Monique going at you, now all of a sudden, a guy got to lose $6 million for you to feel like, well, I guess he got hurt enough. Now I come on there and I say it today because I'm D.L. Hugley. And that was funny, real funny. Back with remember that joke about the washcloth on the nightstand? It was Ruck and the kid wanted, don't you touch that room. Rinse around and rinse it off. Rinse around and rinse it off. Remember them two jokes? At the end of the day, D.L. Hugley is a shield for the Democrats. That's how I see him. And it's unfortunate. I liked it better when he was telling jokes. And so now all he does, he's become a joke and a petty man, a petty older guy ticked off about politics and never tells the whole story. And whenever he has a conversation where he can't get the upper hand, he loses his damn mind. Lashing out, crashing out over Kamala Harris has not been a good look. So, yeah. Shannon Sharpe, say what you want to say about me, but a hell of a platform. He built 2 platforms. And the fact you're on Vlad, who was busy throwing shots at Shannon Sharpe, for what, I don't know. Oh, I know what it was. It's because I think it was it Bill Bellamy? Nah, it wasn't Bill Bellamy. Who was it that DJ Vlad was talking shit? The Wayans, Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans went on. See, to me, it's all about clicks and hits and a bunch of BS. DJ Vlad just mad because Marlon Wayans went on Shannon Sharpe and talked about Vlad, and then Vlad has you on and you talk about Shannon Sharpe. And it's like a bunch of little school fight boo BS. But there's real money behind it. There's real dollars behind it. And that, to me, it's just show business. It's just podcasting. Fine. I don't have a problem with it. Anytime somebody mentions your name, that's a bonus. That's a good thing. That's called publicity. That's called algorithm surfing. That's good. Trend surfing. Trend hacking. Cool. No problem. My problem with D.L. Hugley is he been taking the same route when it comes to politics. And he been talking down and acting like Trump was Hitler. Meanwhile, Obama was drinking that water in Flint. I don't remember D.L. having any problem with that. There was black babies was getting poisoned in Flint for damn near for over a decade. And what did D.L. say about it when his president was in office, who he wrote a book about, who he was giving a tap dance for? Nothing. Nothing. Not a damn thing. And when Obama was dropping them bombs, and he was telling black people, pull your pants up, put your pants up, Pookie. When he was making all those snide remarks to black Americans, what DL say? Nothing. Nothing. So at some point, you accept the fact that you're a Democratic operative. And then most of what you say is so biased to be dismissed as soon as it comes out of your mouth. Shannon Sharpe. Come on, Skip. Oh, come on, Skip. She got me, Skip. She got me. I think Shannon Sharpe is going to be okay. Because he's not as petty as D.L. Hugley. He's just not. He's not as petty as you. And I've already saw a couple pieces of content. He's a better host than Vlad ever could be. He's more interesting. He's more personable. And he is, of the culture. Way more so than DJ Vlad. It's the reason why Vlad is not seen in the videos. Yeah. Yeah. And Shannon Sharp has actually been helping careers. You know, he brought Godfrey on. He brought on Marlon Wayans. He brought on Cat Williams. He brought on many other, Corey Holcomb. He brought on people on his platform that I'm sure it's a plus for those people. So, and he just as very recently, when he brought on Scarface, I mean, that's hands down. That's it. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's Brother Brad on that joint, keeping it real, talking about some real things that matter. I think there's no comparison between the two. So you can go on one platform where you got a guy where things may get a little messy, but that all depends on the person he's interviewing and what they're willing to put up. It wasn't like Shannon Sharp was goading grown-ass man Cat Williams into saying stuff he wouldn't have said. Those things that Cat Williams said were derived from Cat Williams. I'm sure Cat Williams had a plan to say those things. But what Vlad does, what he's been doing, he planned to do that too, which is sucker young, impressionable people that to defend something. Who knows how many jail cells have been filled with people who went on a GJ Vlad show. I'm sure we can find out, and fell for his line of questioning. So, yeah, if you're going to have a problem with Shannon Sharp and no problem with Vlad, then the problem is probably you. You're going to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Yeah. All right, guys, I'm Tim Black. Let's go to the comment section on D.L. Hugley. I'm sure I got a lot of fans of D.L. Hugley in the audience. What the hell? D.L. Hugley liked the censorship. Corey hasn't been on Club Shay Shay? I thought he was. Where'd he go? Hold on, man. I could have swore I saw him on there. It wasn't Vlad. Hold on, man. Come on, y'all. Am I wrong about Corey? Corey Holcomb. So now I got to correct myself. Shannon. Shit. Club Shay Shay. Let's see. Corey Holcomb called Justin Lawrence a black. Lil Rail talking about everybody talking about him. Well, damn, maybe Corey hasn't been on there. As many times, he was on Cam Newton. He was on Cam Newton's show. Thank you, fam. Shannon Sharp has had guests on that talk about Corey. That's what it was. And Corey talks about Shannon Sharp. That's what it is. But I think it helps them both. Go ahead, bro. True Line said Cam Newton. There it is. There it is. But you know, their names are so big, fam. They're so big in their business, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to get them all mixed up, you know what I'm saying? Because their names ring out so much. I'm thinking he's been on that platform. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't Vlad. Corey can't stand Vlad. Thanks, Black Airman. Eddie Griffin is great. You should go on Club Shay Shay. That would be a great conversation. Yeah, Eddie Griffin gonna come on there. He ain't gonna pull no punches. You gonna agree with some stuff? You gonna not agree with some stuff? But he gonna give you some stuff. Yeah, he gonna speak his mind. That would be right up there. Like, I'm sure, like, I can't imagine why that hasn't been discussed. You know what I'm saying? Because Griffin is a legend. Yeah. Yeah, let's start the wave now to get Eddie Griffin on Club Shay Shay. Yeah. DL was probably happy with Skip told Shannon to put his glasses back on. Corey would not go on Vlad's show without Vlad coming on his show first. I heard that. I heard that, Johnson. I heard that. All right, folks, that's all I got for tonight, man. I appreciate y'all. I want to thank all the Tim Black Wolfpack members, man, who keep this show going. Join them. Join us. Be a part of the community. Get my content delivered to your mailbox and get all my free content on top of first crack in long-form interviews as well as my ebooks. It's a good deal. Go to jointimblack.com to do that. Also, hit the like button on your way out, fam, and turn on them notifications when you subscribe. According to my YouTube analytics, only like 13% of my people have on all notifications. So they say that's low. So help a brother out, hit the notifications. That's it. That's all I got. I got nothing but love for y'all, man. Thank you to my moderators, Buck Bewley, Black Mamba, and Ebony. You guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Now remember, don't let nobody take your cornbread, sir. Or ladies, family, Johnsons. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. That's your cornbread. Keep your cornbread. You know they trying to take it. Also, as I always end my show, where are my ladies? Where are my ladies? Oh, there they go. I love y'all.